Hey everybody, this is the long-awaited follow-up to my BioBB video. If you guys didn't see part one, I'm going to put a link in the corner here. You can go check it out. It's kind of a long one on the setup of why we are here. I want to cover first a few things. We're going to talk about how we got here, and then I'm going to talk about the information I've gathered about a few companies that have been having some internet beef. And we're going to name names this time. Last time I was really cool about it. This time I'm going to be doing something. So first off, this is a news video. This is not an opinion video. I'm not going to be sharing my personal opinions, and I will not be telling you to purchase or not purchase from anybody. Okay? I just want to be very clear. I'm going to be simply sharing facts that I've been given to. When I get a source where this fact came from, I will be telling you, I'll be showing it on the screen so you can see it and you will know exactly where these facts came from. Also, I want to say conflict of interest here. Full disclosure, I am not sponsored in any way by any company involved in this situation. That includes Umarex/Elite Force, that includes DED USA, also known as a High Power Airsoft, or any of the other companies. The only exception I do have to that is Tipman, who will be referenced very shortly in this, who doesn't have an interest in this video, is a sponsor of one of my videos on my channel. I want to give you guys full disclosure. I'm not recommending that they are. They're a sponsor of the Monday video, and in no way have I ever, in the entirety of my company, Airsoftology, in over 10 years of being in existence, have I ever taken a BB sponsor on board. Never have done that. I've never had an official BB sponsor, and I won't for reasons, I think, like this. So I just want to lay all that out first so you guys and gals know. References will, like I said, pop up as we go along. So just heads up on that. So now let's dive on in. I got notes here because I want to make sure I follow the thing. Let's dive on into the meat of the matter here, and we're going to get this thing going. So this started with an online beef between two companies, Umarex USA, better known as Elite Force in the United States, and then also a company called DED USA, better known as High Power Airsoft in the US. They were both having a back and forth internet beef about their BBs, talking about biodegradability and all these things, and how Elite Force says they're bio, and then DED USA, or in this case High Power Airsoft, we're going to call it that HPA, we're going to call it HPA going forward, is the truly enhanced bio, and they were talking about things. So it moved forward. I've been watching this play out on Instagram and Facebook and all this for a while, and decided to come in and do a video about it. And like I said, the link was earlier in the video here. You can watch last week's also down in the description box below. Any links I also referenced to will be down below as we move forward too. So anything I'm saying, hey, it's on this website, those are going to be below as well. So as the process went on, I reached out to both companies and had conversations with both owners. Dan, the owner of High Power Airsoft, and then, well, not the owner, Cliff, who's general manager or manager over the sales department of Elite Force. He's over kind of that division of Umarex USA. So both of them were very open at the beginning, had good conversations with both. I wanted to kind of get a feel of what was going on. Things were going good, right? I was looking at a third option of BBs because there's three different types. We're going to get into that. It's going to be PLA, we're going to get into OXO, and we're also going to get in talking about this third formula, which is the proprietary blend that High Power Airsoft has. Things started moving, and then Elite Force decided to release all their information. So they gave us their lab test, their vendor name. I mean, they said, here's who we buy from. This is it. Here's our vendor, here's our MSDS, material safety data sheet. I'll be using some acronyms as we go through. Here are our lab tests, here is our composition test, and here is our biodegradability test, all from a lab. Now, we're going to talk about that lab because there's been some talk about, well, that lab's in China. It's in Shanghai. It's a Chinese lab, and I've heard a lot of people in the internet saying, well, how can we trust that? Actually, that lab, and I'm going to open up my website here, again, links are below, is called TÜV Rheinland. Now, TÜV Rheinland is the lab name. It's on their lab information. While it is their China branch, they are the oldest certification lab on the planet. In 1872, they were created at the German government's insistence after there's a boiler accident, and they have been one of the major players in certification. They have labs around the world. Companies like SGS is another one, a very big certification lab. They have branches everywhere. Both of those companies they're based in Germany, and then they're based, I think SGS is maybe a Dutch, I don't know where, but they have offices everywhere because where manufacturing is, you need lab tests. For example, SGS has lab tests here in Taiwan, and so does TÜV Rheinland, and of course Shanghai and other ones. Now, not every lab can do every test, so my guess is because Elite Force vendors actually here in Taiwan, their address is clearly there in company name, that they used the closest one they could test for biodegradability over the amount of time. These were also ISO certified laboratories. They're also EN, which is the European Union, DIN certified laboratories. So it doesn't matter where they are, they follow the certification. So we're looking at that. We're looking at facts and certified labs, because this will build up to where we are going. Also on their site, on their packaging and everything, it says enhanced, truly enhanced biodegradable BB. Elite Force claims theirs are, and Elite Force says they are OXO plastic. We are not getting into the debate here of PLA, OXO, and things like that, where it's legal, where it's not legal, and all that. We're talking about the United States, where PLA is actually officially compostable according to US laws. OX plastics, or OXO, the material, is considered biodegradable under US law. And then we have a third formula that we need to understand what this is. Is it biodegradable as the package says? Well, we know that Dan from High Power Airsoft says it is not OXO and it is not PLA. He uses those hashtags on his Instagram all the time. So we don't have to assume that. Using his own information, we're gonna say, okay, it's not those two things, so what else could it be? We asked him for the information. He's like, I will not give you the formula. I'll give you some information at the next show, which will be Airsoft Con, which is coming up here in a bit, and you can sign an NDA. I was like, okay, cool, that'd be great. And I can sign the NDA and say, okay, I read it, looks good to me. Since then, he's actually released lab tests on his site. We're going to talk about those a little later on too, and some other testing that's happened. Elite Force was still having open conversations with me, and I was actually having conversations with other people around this, and you're going to find out who they are here and shortly toward the end. I'll give you full names, full disclosure on any fact I get. But unfortunately, the conversation with Dan did break down, meaning that I sent texts unreplied to, and he was very communicative at first. We had an open conversation. Text, phone calls, emails, and even using WhatsApp was one of our methods of communication. If you guys ever use WhatsApp, you know there's a little check system, right? One check means in gray, it's been sent. Two checks, they appear, means it's been sent and delivered to their side. And then when those two checks turn blue, that means it's been read. So all the messages to him were the first gray check, which to me looked like either he deleted the app or I was blocked. And I'm like, well, why? And then so the texting, no reply. And we've been having conversations through text. Through emails, we've been having conversations through emails, no reply. Through phone calls, we've been having conversations through phone calls, no answer. So all of a sudden it went quiet, and I'm going, well, why? There's obviously a better formula here. Why do you really want to hold on to it? Like, why are you not even having this conversation with me now? Let's share your story too, especially when these other companies are producing their results. Also, to be fair, during this time frame, other companies stepped up. KWA, G&G. We have also Vulcan and Tippmann. Remember I told you I was going to mention Tippmann. They are a sponsor of the channel. This is the only time I'll ever be mentioning them. All of those companies stepped up on their own, didn't send it to me, but they published them out publicly of what the material they're using in their BBs are. So they said, here is our safety information, here's our content, here's our results. So everybody who even didn't have an interest in this released their info. So then on their website, HPA made a change, and they actually put up their MSDS, their Material Safety Data Sheet, which if you guys don't know what that is, guys and gals, it is a form that when you ship a product into or out of the country, you create a form called an MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet, and it states what the material content of what is in that package. Is it safe? Is it harmful? How is it handled? So does it abide by the laws? It's something that goes on every package that's imported or exported, right? So if you're going to send something out of the country, it needs it because it's going to be customs outbound and customs inbound to the other country wherever it goes, and vice versa. If you're the manufacturer, or even finished goods, you're doing import-export, this is a requirement. Inside the US, it's not a requirement, but when you're shipping outside the US, you're going to need that. So we're looking at this, and according to his data sheet, at the top, which is interesting, he is the manufacturer. So when this would be his inbound data sheet, this would mean his importing of the BBs, says that his company up top, and you guys can see it here, screen capture from his website, saying that he's the manufacturer of the BBs. Now, normally this is your third-party company. And if you look at what Elite Force provided with theirs, it shows that Green Science is their manufacturer who manufactures the BBs. And all these other companies, they're using different vendors, and you can do open research on people where they're getting products shipped from. It's actually, there's some databases out there, some are free, some you have to pay for, of where they're getting them. So typically you're gonna have another company making these BBs for you. There's only a few companies that can make these BBs in the world. They're ball bearing companies typically that do the same because they have to work within certain accuracies and make these spheres of different materials. So we now, according to Dan, say, okay, he is the manufacturer, so he owns a factory, right? Now he's redacted some information here, which is normally on like the country and the locations and all that. He's left all that out. So it's not a complete MSDS, but at least it does tell us one fact. According to him, he is the factory. So that is a fact put up by his website. Keep these in mind, right? We're gonna build on this and we're gonna keep talking. So he still won't give his formula, which, okay, he's covered under trade secrets, right? It's a trade secret, special formula. We understand that, but trade secrets aren't illegal to reverse engineer. They're not illegal to go dig into. You just, if you sign a non-disclosure agreement or you work for the company and sign an NDA, you can't share them. It's like the KFC's secret recipe spices, you know, or Coca-Cola's formula, right? They're, you kind of can figure out the ingredients, but you don't know what the actual mixture is, right? Like you can bake a cookie, but how much flour and egg and milk and chocolate chips and all that go into that chocolate chip cookie? That's grandmom's secret, right? That's your trade secret. So Airsoft Atlanta, if you guys didn't know, they actually did a lab test and they've shared it with me. I'm the first able to share it here publicly. This is information given to me by them. They paid big money. Like I think it's $800 US to have a US lab, US ISO certified lab, do a composition test on the HPA BBs. Now these are BBs that are from their stock and they took the heavyweights, the 0.48 gram BBs and sent them off to a lab. Here's your lab test results. Right here in front of you, you guys can look at them. It is about 91% polystyrene. So styrene, if you guys wanna know what styrene is, Google it. This is what their lab results say. It is 91% styrene. Now, there could be other materials in here. It's only 91%. You can pay even more apparently to figure out what the other trace amounts are, and there are some additives you can put in these. Admittedly, there's some other things you can do to help break stuff down. So all we know for a fact here is that his heavyweight BB is 91% styrene, okay? And he says it's not OX plastic or OXO, and it's not PLA. Obviously, if it was PLA, it'd be a different material. It's actually made from corn. So we're looking at, these are the facts that are coming out from this test. And you can see the full lab information on this test. So here's the lab test name, the number, who did it, all these things. As soon as Airsoft Atlanta posts this, I'm gonna send you a link over to their website just to show you can verify. It's not just embedded here. You're gonna actually see it's from Airsoft Atlanta because they're gonna have it posted somewhere publicly that's gonna say, yes, it's them. But they gave it to me to share with you guys and gals. So that's what we've come up with now. We're looking at a styrene product that is 91% styrene. That's where we're at, right? That is a fact based on the information I've been given. I was waiting to see the results at AirsoftCon, but again, no conversation with High Power Airsoft, no two-way communication. The last thing I said is like, okay, cool, I'll see you there. This is my last text message to him. It's like, hey, I'll see you at AirsoftCon, and we'll look at the results, right? We'll go through the process. So then I can see it and at least tell everyone out there, hey, it's good, saw the lab test, we're all right, right? Well, he posted them online on his Instagram. Here are the screen captures. I will link to them. I hope they're still up there. Hope they stay up. But I do have screen captures here linked to his actual Instagram account. And it shows his biodegradability testing, right? So you look at the breakdown of a lot of numbers here, but you want to look at the chart. So you really want to look at the chart here. You're going to look at the number of days across the bottom. You're going to look at the percentage up the side. So you look at the left side, up and down, that's the percentage number. There's two charts he presented here. And then you look across the bottom, it's the number of days, and that takes it out to 365 days or 1 full year. That's a normal biodegradability test. They usually go out to about 365 to 400 days. Some go even longer, but 365 days is something very important. Again, these are things we're talking about. Material data safety sheet, that he's the manufacturer, that the test goes out to 365 days. And if you look here, it shows just a little bit under 30%. It looks like about 27 and some change percent, according to the chart, degradability over the course of a year, meaning that much of the product biodegrades away, degrades away over that time. So, hey, according to this chart that he provided, now, mind you, there is no lab name. There is no lab test number we can verify. We don't know where this lab is, if they're even ISO certified. He only has his logo on it, which if you look at the other lab test, the one that Elite Force provided, as well as the one that Airsoft Atlanta got, you'll see what a normal lab test should look like. All the information, including signatures by the overseeing people and all that, right? Contact info. That's a lab test, right? But let's assume that this is true. We're going to say, because he posted it, here's my information, he's being honest, great. This is true because it came from him. It has his company logo in the corner, probably covering up where the lab logo would be. So we know that his product, according to these tests, actually does break down about 27, 28% over the course of 365 years, 360 days, whatever, I think it's a little bit shy of it, but 1 year of use. Again, another fact presented by HPA. So now you're asking, Jonathan, it's a really long video. Why are we here? And where's the smoking gun? Well, I'm going to present something to you here. This is the Federal Trade Commission's Green Guide. This is their regulations, the U.S. federal government's regulations on degradability, which biodegradability falls under that. It also covers compostability, but biodegradability. And it talks specifically, the first few pages are kind of an overview, like a shorter, easier to read version of the full text, which follows, and you can read them both. So we're going to go down to page 3 and we're going to look at degradability because that's where biodegradability is. When you're making a marketing claim in the United States of America, these are the guidelines you have to follow. And let's go to the very last line here. Degradable, section 5. If you go to the very last paragraph here, the last section, the final guides also clarify that a marketer making an unqualified degradable claim for solid items other than those destined for landfills, incinerators, or recycling facilities should substantiate the entire item will fully decompose within 1 year after customary disposal. So what does that mean in English? It means that if your product is not going to a landfill, an incinerator, or a recycling facility, it's going to go somewhere else, and that's airsoft BBs. They go into the environment. Most of them end up in the woods somewhere, right? That you have to certify that they degrade within 1 year. And High Power Airsoft's test shows from their own information, they degrade, and it says completely degrade. Theirs only degrade under 30% in that 1 year, based on their own emission. So here is the hard fact. Here is the unfortunate smoking gun. Based on what High Power Airsoft has shown us with their logo in the corner on their social media account, published saying, here is the results, and I have screen captures, that they are saying that their BB is not biodegradable according to U.S. Federal Trade Commission standards. Now, I'd love to see a test that takes it out beyond a year, but we're talking about the U.S. law here. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not leading to conclusions here. But what the federal government says and what he's provided us, this doesn't match that guideline because airsoft BBs don't end up in the trash can. They don't end up in recycling. Sure, some of them in certain airsoft fields, like indoor fields, a small subset of how these things are used, all the backyards, all the shooting, all the airsoft fields that are outdoors, all the big events, they end up being deposited just in the dirt, right? These are biodegradable BBs. They say biodegradable on the packaging. And it gets into guidelines about words you can use. If you guys want to read this whole thing, I've got the links to the federal government's website. Mind you, this is a link straight over to the ftc.gov. It's a government website. That it has to degrade in a year. And based on his information he's given us, I don't know. Now, I'm not telling you not to buy his stuff. I'm not telling you to buy his stuff. I'm not telling you to buy any of these other companies I spoke about at all. That's it. I'm not giving you a purchasing recommendation here. I am simply sharing the facts that were published by his own company, by his hand, and how it lines up to U.S. law. You can lead into that. You can read into that. It's your decision. It's your choice to take this information and do with it as you please. But I just want to give you this information. I'm going to leave this video here now. I do welcome more discussion. Like I said, this is a news video. If there are corrections or changes, please submit them to me. If you are one of the companies involved here, if I've misspoke, I will do an official correction to this video in the comment section below and description box as well to any errors that may be here of information I didn't share. But I'm going off the information that I have here and I have references for all these things. Again, you'll see the links and the screen captures would have popped up on the screen and we can go from there. But this is a news story. I'm not giving you opinions. I'm just simply stating how things have played out. So anyway, thank you for sticking around for a very long video, and I will see, I don't know. I'm just gonna not even ask for your opinion. I'm just gonna leave it here and let you guys and gals think on what the information has been provided to you.